In order to understand your caller, we want to quickly go over what happens to the human body when experiencing stress. Because stress is what we are trying to reduce to increase adaptive functioning. We must first understand why stress occurs so that we can effectively combat it. I first want you to ask, what is stress? Is it an emotion? Is it a reaction in the body? Why do we even feel stress? Take a quick moment to pause and consider what happens to your body when you are stressed. Do your palms sweat? Does your heart rate speed up? Do you have trouble concentrating on tasks or making decisions? All of these things are normal results of what's going on with our brains when forced to deal with stress. The bottom line is that what we typically call stress is a fear response to some kind of threat or danger. This can be a threat to us physically, but it can also be a threat to us emotionally, relationally, or even a threat to our belief systems. When we are stressed, we are scared, and our bodies get prepared to respond to the threat. Now let's dive into what is going on for our bodies as stressful information comes in and how our brain and body respond. Information enters the brain through our senses. The information is routed to the central core of our brain called the limbic system. This part of the brain is charged with keeping us safe and alive. If the information indicates that you are in danger, it is routed down a single nerve pathway designed to trigger a set of responses to prepare for us to fight the threat, run away, flee the threat, or to freeze or faint to avoid the dangerous situation. At this point, the stress reaction begins to shut down the higher functioning parts of the brain. Stress basically hijacks our brain and keeps us from thinking very logically. The first part to shut down is the frontal lobe. This part of the brain involves our ability to think, judge, problem solve, focus, and plan. Next to shut down is the temporal lobe, which controls emotional regulation and language. This might help explain why speaking can be difficult for a person in a stressful state. And you might experience a wide range of emotions from a caller. It may feel like that they're out of control, confused, or not making any sense. The left side of the brain also shuts down. This affects people's ability to draw on their coping skills, logical thinking, and impacts their ability to follow directions. This sequence might seem counterintuitive. You might be thinking, why would all of these functions shut down when a person is really going to need these abilities? I mean, people need these skills to make logical plans, to get them on the road to recovery, especially after emergencies, or to make important decisions to deal with the threatening situation. Plus, someone in crisis should need to draw on their coping skills. I mean, doesn't shutting down all these functions make that process more difficult? Again, great questions. The reason this sequence does make sense is because those higher brain functions could interfere with an alarm reaction that could save one's life. In certain life or death circumstances, these responses have a practical purpose. With fewer brain functions operating, the brain can quickly react and deal impulsively to save someone's life. As part of the stress response, people may react in ways that are shocking to them. They may now be emotionally distressed at behaving in a way that is foreign to them, or in a way that they are ashamed of. During response modes, people may respond in one of the following 4 ways. We call these the 4 Fs. People may respond in a fight, or in a flight, or in a freeze or a faint reaction. These reactions are hardwired in the brain, and they are involuntary, and they preserve and protect. What does this tell us about what's happening to the callers who you're dealing with, who are in overwhelming stress? You can help them reduce their stress, and in turn help them start thinking clear and make good decisions by being an active, supportive listener, by helping them utilize their natural coping skills to relax, by connecting them to resources and helping them formulate an action plan. Most people recover from overwhelming stress without professional intervention. In fact, most people utilize naturally occurring resources, such as family members, friends, and their faith community, to integrate their traumatic experiences. You can support callers to mobilize these resources and in turn strengthen the resources of the community. Emotional distress isn't always as visible as a physical injury, but it can and does interfere with people's ability to cope with the event, and it can cause difficulties with your ability to do your job. It is our hope that this foundational understanding of the body's fear-stress response will assist you in better understanding a distress caller's behavior, and also to be aware of your own behavior in stressful situations.